Yo, what's going on, guys? Well, today's the day. We finally got some new official content from Marvel Rivals, and they just dropped their Loki character reveal, showcasing all of his abilities in detail, as well as all the cool playlines you can take with him, some interactions with the other characters, all while showing off his awesome design. The video itself is only 41 seconds long, but there are a lot of new details to cover, so in this video, we're going to do a quick breakdown of everything I've found. It's also speculated from the official Discord by some great folks in the community that since there are 18 days until May 10th, which is the alpha release date, they will be dropping character reveal every day until then. If that ends up being the case, make sure to keep an eye on your feeds, as I'll be covering it all. So if you want to see more and stay up to date on all the reveals, be sure to like the video, comment your favorite part of the reveal and who you're looking forward to seeing, and subscribe to stay locked in for future Marvel Rivals content. Now, without further ado, let's get right into it. So one of the first big nuggets of new information we have is that we see here Loki is classified as a strategist. He's still within the support category, but this indicated to us that there are sub-roles or classes within each of the three major roles. This is great because that means that players aren't locked into one type of support character and can mix and match based on their preferences, giving major freedom and flexibility to the player. And as we go on, we'll see exactly why he lives up to the name of the strategist. This is where we first start to see Loki and his clones in action, and here we get a couple different things going on. We get a better look at Iron Man in the sky firing his repulsor blast off at Rocket, while Magik is facing off against Doctor Strange and Penny Parker. I mean, look at the size of the animation on the swing. Magik is definitely going to be one of my favorite characters to play for sure. We also see her health bar increase like we saw during the announcement trailer breakdown, where she gains health through her soul sword strikes. We also get a better look at Loki's turret clone, where he not only is firing his primary at Doctor Strange, but the splash damage from the clone shots seem to be healing Magik quite significantly. I interpret this as Loki's primary attack not only does splash damage to enemies in the affected area, but any allies also gain health regen if they're also in that same area. We also see Hulk flying across the air to take on Groot head on, and they start battling it out while Loki's clone turns to provide support to Groot and Rocket from above. This is where things start to get real interesting, and we start to see the strategist in Loki come out. We see Doctor Strange come up to attack Loki, then he triggers a clone to appear while giving himself an aura of transparency to try and dodge that incoming attack. One thing to note is that it isn't fully invisible or transparent as I originally thought it was going to be in my breakdown, but rather it's an evasive tactic to reposition himself. In this state, Loki starts to regenerate his own health, but also we see he can still take damage in this frame from Doctor Strange, so that ability is not necessarily a get out of jail free card. Then we see Doctor Strange about to pop his ult on Loki to stop his mischievous self from trying to escape and keep moving around, but as always, Loki knows how to get himself out of trouble. We see Loki swap back to the clone that he used to escape Strange's first attack, leaving Strange bamboozled. Here we get to see the E ability being used, and we see the diamond placement of where Loki wants that clone to go, and off to the top right, we see Iron Man hovering up pretty high in the sky. Also, there's an outline on our HUD of our teammates and their locations as well on the bottom right, which I imagine is what everyone can see as well, but that's great for Loki because since he's a support, he can get to his teammates quickly or place clones near them for heals. Through the HUD, we also see Magik use her quick teleport ability to get into Penny Parker's face, and as we pan the camera up, we see Groot and Rocket in their team-up stance engaging Penny again. Then perhaps the scariest aspect of this whole shot, we see Hulk coming in like a freight train straight towards our Loki, and he uses his Thunderclap ability to hit Loki for a full 70 damage. But just as Hulk gets to Loki, we see the swap over to the pre-placed clone from earlier with a 15-second cooldown, and I'm not sure if this clone got hit by something as indicated by this red hit marker, or swapping to a clone if you're already damaged reduce some of that clone's health, but we have to see more of it in game. If you have thoughts on that, comment it down below. Now we also get a better look at the battle occurring from the new Loki's perspective, and we get to see this device in the back here, which looks like it's part of the objective outline or even producing the outline itself maybe. There's also this weird baby demon looking thing, which I assume is coming from Magik, but it seems to be swiping at something, so maybe Magik gets a little sidekick. With Penny, we get to see a new ability, which is the Bouncing Betty spider drone, which is really cool to see, and it does a lot of big damage to Magik. There's also the giant mesh field that Penny is producing around the objective. I'm not sure how this is affecting the other characters, but maybe it slows them down, or maybe it's tampering with their abilities. We'll have to wait till her character reveal to get a better idea. Then we turn to the right and we see Black Panther climbing up the tree, and he double jumps to try and pounce onto Loki, but just like in the Doctor Strange scene, he uses his evade ability to avoid getting swiped by Black Panther. And notice there's two clones now with 250 HP as well, and on the ground we see Iron Man's chest beam from above, as well as a low HP icon for Rocket. Next we get the sweet Decepticon style logo for Loki on the transition. Shout out to Luna Snow Crater on the Marvel Rivals Discord, but in the scene we get a lot of stuff going on. Before we focus on Loki, we see Hulk's personal shield ability, which I predicted was going to be the case, similar to what we saw on Namor, and I'm sure others may have a similar ability as well. Then again, we see Penny's mesh field on the ground by Groot, and Groot firing what looks like his arm at Penny like a spear, and we get to see this giant tree wall, which is different from that log we saw him put down in the announcement trailer. Also notice that on the wall there's limbs swiping at the enemies, so the barriers Groot places are alive and can be an active part of the battle. There's also these green AoE balls that seem to explode, which we've also seen earlier from the announcement trailer, and it's good for taking presence on the objective and clearing it of enemies. We also see another low HP critical indicator on Rocket, letting you know as Loki who to prioritize for heals. Then moving to the air, we see Iron Man fly in and fire off multiple air-to-ground missiles, which looks really sick. I can't wait to use that. And then finally, we get to Loki himself and his clone firing off 2 shots at once, but it doesn't take up more ammo per shot, which is interesting. So theoretically, you could fire off 3 shots for the cost of 1, I think. And as we move back to the ground, we see him finally use that last ability, which is like an invulnerability shield of some sort, similar to Baptiste, as the warning icon for Iron Man's incoming nuke is coming down, which protects everyone from the blast and gives them all full health. This is really crazy, because if you have 3 of these at different locations to help your team survive, this makes Loki one of the best healers in the game, in my opinion. We get another still shot at Loki, and he looks great so far. His design is super clean, and I love the armor on him. Then we finally get to our last shot of Loki using his ult to transform into Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Magik, and Luna Snow, which is crazy if you think about the fact that he can use all of their ultimates instantaneously when he transforms into them. And the fact that he can transform into another support means that if there's a future support character that, say, has better healing abilities, he could use them if there's an opponent on the battlefield using that character, truly making Loki one of the most versatile characters in the game, and it makes sense why he's labeled as a strategist. And we get our last nugget of information. We finally get the closed alpha date, which is on May 10th, so hopefully we'll get invites to that within the coming weeks, so make sure to keep an eye on your emails. But that's going to be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the quick breakdown. Don't forget to like the video. Plus, if there's anything I missed or something that surprised you, comment it down below. And as always, subscribe to stay locked in for more future Marvel Rivals content.